Today we're going to talk about the ticketing system in Sonar, and I'm going to start off by going through the initial configuration of the system to get everything up and running, and then we'll move into how to use the system itself. So we're going to start off on the ticket groups page, and this is under system and then the ticketing menu and then ticket groups, and we're going to create a few ticket groups. And so a ticket group is a collection of users or employees that are responsible for some subset of tickets. So for example, we probably have a support group, maybe a sales group, maybe some kind of escalated network group, maybe you'd have others. Start by making support, and I'm going to put my 2 users in there. You can have as many users as you want in a group. And I'm going to make a sales group, and I'm going to put a couple of users in there. You'll notice as we're creating these groups, I have an option here to make a group private. And what a private group is a group in which any tickets in that group are only visible by either users in that group or a user with the ticketing superuser permission. So if you have some kind of tickets that you'd want to keep some kind of confidentiality on, for whatever reason, you could make a private group, funnel those tickets into that group, and then only users in that group or ticket superusers would be able to see them. Okay, so we have some groups set up. Those look pretty good. You'll notice we have an enabled column. If I go back and edit the group, I have the option to disable it, and what that does is lets the group still exist in the system, but nobody can assign tickets into it anymore. If we move over to ticket categories, a ticket category is just like a tag. It's a way to describe a ticket, and a ticket can have multiple categories on it. So we could have something like DNS issue as a category. Maybe we have something like slow speeds. And you can have others in here like web hosting or financial issue or credit card failed or whatever you might want to put on these tickets to describe them, and you can put as many of these categories on a ticket as you want to get as descriptive as you want. Next thing we're going to set up is inbound email. So configuring inbound email for our tickets allows us to have email come into a mailbox like, let's say, support@sonar.software, and then have that email create a ticket in Sonar, and then we can reply to that ticket within Sonar, which will send an email back to the customer. They can then reply to that email and it will update the ticket, and you can keep doing this until the ticket's closed. So you'll notice when I click inbound email, it's taking me over to the outbound domains page, and this is because for us to reply by email, we need our outbound email to be set up properly, and this is a fresh system. I don't have it. You probably have this configured already. If you don't, as always, there's help in the site to explain how to do it. I'm just going to quickly add my sonar.software domain here, which I've already verified and gone through all my steps on, so that we can move forward with setting up an inbound account. Okay, let's go back to inbound email, and we're going to create an inbound email box. So what I want to do is I want to have support@sonar.software come in here so I can deal with it inside Sonar. So first I need a description. I'm just going to call this support. The from name on email replies is the name a customer will see the email coming from, so I'm going to make that Sonar. The email address to use for outbound replies is the email address it's going to come from, so that when they reply it will come back to that. So if you have email coming into support@sonar.software, then when you send it out, you almost certainly want it to come from support@sonar.software, right? So that when they reply, it comes back into the same mailbox. So I'm going to put support in here, and then I'm going to pick the domain, which I only have sonar.software, so this would be support@sonar.software. Can set the priority. This is really an internal thing for you. It doesn't do that much in Sonar currently, but it allows you to sort by priority and have escalation policies and things like that based on priority. So I'm going to say if they come into support, I want a medium priority, and I want the responsible party for inbound emails to be my support group that we made a couple of minutes ago. We have an option here to filter spam. Whenever we have inbound emails come into Sonar, we run them through Spam Assassin, and they get assigned a spam score. So if you already have good spam filtering on your mail server, you probably don't need to do this. It's just kind of doing double duty. But if you want to, you can turn this on, and you can say if the score is 10 or higher, I want to flag it as spam, and then after 30 days I want to automatically delete it. If you want to turn this on, a good score to use here is probably between 5 and 10, depending on how aggressive you want to be. My email is well filtered before it comes into Sonar, so I'm going to turn this off. We can send an automatic reply to a customer when they send an email in. So for example, you might want to put something in here like, thanks for your email, we'll get back to you within 24 hours. If you have any questions, you can visit our website at XYZ. If this is urgent, call us at 12345. So you can put whatever you want in here. We can append a signature to all public replies, and this is so that we can maintain something consistent across the whole company, so that when an email comes out of Sonar, it always has a signature in the same format on the bottom. And it tells you right here you can use the variable public name in square brackets if you want to put the user's public name in there. So for example, if I was to put this in my signature, when I reply it would say Simon at the bottom, or when John replied it would say John at the bottom, or when somebody else replied it would put their name there. You get the idea. So I'm also going to put the company name, and I'm going to put the URL, and so now we have a nice consistent signature, and I can make this a link if I want to. Just make this really go to the website. You get the idea. You can also turn on Slack integration. So if you don't know what Slack is, it's a chat system for your company that you can use, and you can have different rooms in there. So if you had a support room, we could have it so that whenever an email comes into the support mailbox, we could send a message into Slack saying, hey, new tickets come in. And so there's a link here to go generate the Slack webhook if you want to do that, which you just put into this field. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this. And what you'll notice is we didn't configure any authentication information to go log into your mail server and get the email, and that's because that's not how it works. What we do is we create you a unique email address. So in this case, it's 57583, etc., at sonarticketing.rocks. And what you do is you go to your mail server and you forward all the email to, say, support@sonar.software to this mailbox. It'll get picked up by Sonar instantly. We don't hold on to it in any way. It just gets put straight into your Sonar instance. And then it minimizes your need to do any kind of configuration, and you can also then forward it to other mailboxes and that kind of thing if you want to. So we've done some basic config, we set up our groups, we set up some categories, and we now have an inbound email account set up. So in the next video we'll move on to using the ticketing interface.